Hello, St. Peter's. Welcome back for another High Five Friday. Are you ready? High five. All right. It is a rainy day, but it's a warm day. So I got to thinking, we can't be outside for a long time, but it's kind of raining and then stopping and raining and stopping. And it's kind of a lighter rain. We're going to use that today in our project at the end. So, are you ready to get started? Let's see. Do we have everyone? Ralph is here. Magic Monkey's here. Here's Joy with her jar of joy. I think we have everyone. Do you have everyone? Gather up, gather around, get ready. All right, let's get ready for library. Let's turn up our ears so we're ready to listen. Turn off our mouths so we don't make a sound. Put your hands quietly in your lap. Take a nice big deep breath. Now we're ready for our story. I love this story. I may have read it last year. I can't remember if it's last year or the year before, but I think you're still going to love it. It's one that I could read over and over again. This one is called Sky Color, and our author is Peter H. Reynolds. Some of you might recognize the illustrations, the artwork from another book by Peter H. Reynolds called The Dot. I know you've used that in your classroom sometimes. So it's the same author, came up with a new idea. Sky Color. Wait till you see how creative we get here. Here she is. Marisol was an artist. She loved to draw and paint, and she even had her very own art gallery on a refrigerator. That's probably where a lot of you have your artwork hanging. We do too. Not all of her art hung in a gallery. Much of it she shared with the world. She painted posters to share ideas she believed in. And this poster says, "Save the ocean." At school, Marisol was famous for her creative clothes, her box of art supplies, and her belief that everybody was an artist. Do you think you're an artist? Let's see why she thinks that. Yes, Marisol was an artist through and through. So when her teachers told the class they were going to paint a mural for the library, Marisol couldn't wait to begin. A mural is a very large painting. A lot of times you might see them on the sides of buildings. They'll paint a big scenery of skyscrapers or a sign that announces what shop is in that building. You might see them on someone's wall in their house. It's a big painting that takes up a whole wall, maybe inside of a restaurant. So they're going to paint a very long, large painting. The classroom buzzed with the sound of brainstorming. Brainstorming, that's when everyone gets their ideas together and shares them all together so they can come up with a plan, right? So they're brainstorming. The students talked and sketched. Together, they made a great big drawing. Look how big that paper is. All those kids had to help carry it. Then they marched to the library. "I'll paint a fish. I'll paint one too. I'll paint the ocean." Marisol shouted, "I'll paint the sky." Ooh, they all have good ideas and they all get to participate. Marisol rummaged through the box of paint, but could not find any blue. "How am I going to make the sky without blue paint?" That does seem like a problem, doesn't it? The bell rang. It was time to put their brushes down for the day. As she climbed aboard the bus, Marisol kept wondering. All the way home, she stared out the window. She's got to solve her problem. Look at that. The sun lowered closer to the horizon. The sunset sky. Later at home, Marisol watched day turn into night. That's pretty cool. That night, Marisol settled down into a deep dream. She drifted through a sky swirling with colors. The colors mixed, making too many to count. Wow, what an awesome dream. In the morning, Marisol stood waiting for the bus in the rain. The sky was not blue. She smiled. I think she has an idea. At school, Marisol raced to the library. She grabbed a dish and began adding colors. This one, that one. She swirled the brush to make an altogether new color. I'm excited to see what she did. Marisol then began painting on the wall. A boy asked, "What color is that?" "That," Marisol said, "that is sky color." Are you ready to see it? Look at that. Whoa. So here's their mural. They all work together. They do have fish and the ocean and the sky. Is the sky just a blue colored sky? No way. Because what did Marisol discover in her dream, and probably even on her bus ride home, and when she was looking at the sky at night? Let's take a look at those pages one more time. So on the bus ride home, this is what she saw. This is the sky, right? Have you ever watched the sky in the evening when the sun starts going down? Especially if it's been a sunny day, all of a sudden the sky starts changing colors. And sometimes they're so vibrant, oranges and pinks and reds and yellows. And then as it started getting a little bit darker, she kept watching the sky, and now even some purple colors kind of came into it. So in her mind, when she dreamed, she remembered all of those things, put it all together, and came up with a pretty great idea. Isn't that really neat? And I really liked how her colors kind of all swirl together. Sometimes it's hard to get that effect if you're just drawing on a piece of paper. So I'm going to give you an idea today that you can try. It's kind of an experiment using our rainy weather. There's no reason to be sad when it rains. We do need the rain because the flowers are going to grow. Our grass is going to get greener so that when the sun does come out, we'll have some amazing places that we can go outside and play, and it'll look beautiful. So let me show you what I did. Okay. I just used markers today with paper. I took a piece of paper. I got out my markers. Now, actually, it was kind of an interesting day because lots of my markers are drying out. So I had to think of other ways of using it. Now, the idea that I had, first I drew kind of like a rainbow, and I'll show you that. I'll show you my finished product. But no matter what you draw, I want you to try to fill as much of the paper as you can with your markers. Now, if you want to draw a picture, or if you just want to do some color variations like she did in sky color, when she was making her sky, she might have done maybe a streak across with one color. But then we noticed she used, oh, I can't get my marker open, other colors, and maybe this one she would make a little bit like of a poofier, billowy shape, more cloud-like, right? And then maybe she could take another color, not even she, we are doing it, and even streak down this way so it all kind of runs in together and blends together. And the reason why I'm asking you to use markers is I will show you very soon. So I'm going to kind of make this a cool, I'm going to call it a splash pattern. So it looks like I just took splashes of paint, even though I'm using markers, splashes of paint all across my paper. Okay, that's what I'm doing on this one. I'm trying to use the side because it makes nice wide stripes. Okay, take all kinds of colors. You can do it in any way you want. This one I'm going to go down the side. Okay, so fill up that whole paper using as many colors as you'd like. If you just want to use one or two colors, that's okay too. Then here's where the magic happens. You're going to get a paper towel and fold it so that it's as long as your paper. Okay, I'll show you. Hold on for 1 second. I'm grabbing a paper towel. I didn't have that ready, but here I am. That was fast. Okay, so I kind of grabbed a longer strip, 2 paper towels, and folded in half. So then this paper can sit on top of it. I'm going to take this outside, yes, outside. Even if it's sprinkling a little bit, just put your raincoat on. And then set this down on the ground, okay? It's okay that it's wet. We want it to be wet. The paper towel is actually going to help it stick to the ground to make sure that it doesn't blow away if it's blowing a little bit. So you're just going to set it on the ground. Now, we want it to be raining. We're using the rain to make incredible works of art, okay? So you don't have to stand out in the rain. Put it down there. You could if you want, if you get your little umbrella. Just make sure your paper is not covered by your umbrella. You can use your umbrella or your raincoat, or you can stand just inside your door and watch it. When it starts to look a little bit blurry and smeary, then you're going to pick it up. Now, it's a good idea if you're outside to have something to set your paper on, because this is all going to be wet. So some sort of a tray or a box, it doesn't have to be anything fancy, that you could set it on, and you're going to bring it inside and then set your paper on. These two I turned over a cookie sheet, and I carefully took them off of the paper towel. Whoops. And I set them on here to dry. Look at what happened. The colors all blend together and they look watercolory, kind of like her sky color. So this one I had made the rainbow, just colored streaks of rainbow. And on this one, I decided to do all sorts of circles. So on this one's still a little bit damp. Let me hold it up for you better so I can hold it. So this one did have some white in between, which you can see, but look how cool that looks. When it dries, you can use it as the background for the rest of your drawing, just like in Sky Color, how they added the fish and things. Now, something really cool came out of this that I wasn't expecting. The paper towels also got some of that marker out of it. So I set them to dry on some newspapers. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? That's from my rainbow drawing. I just love it. So I'm waiting for that to dry, and then I'll decide what kind of a project I want to make. I'm going to show you something. Now my paper towels come in 4 sections, but even if they don't, you can just cut it. You could take one like this, pinch it in the middle, choop, choop, choop. Pinch it in the middle, right? When it's dry, because this is going to be really droopy right now. Pinch it in the middle, and then you have a butterfly. You could hang it up on your window. Isn't that really cool? That's just from experimenting. You can do anything you want with this paper towel. Do you want to see the one that I did with the circles? Yes, I do have it back here. Look at this one. Isn't that awesome? I actually kind of like the way it works on the paper towel better than the paper. The only thing is, once these are dry, paper towels are harder to draw on. So if you want to finish a picture, I would do it on your original paper. And then if you want to experiment and see what you can do, and since you did your paper towel in half, you actually have two. Look at how big it is. Wow. That already kind of looks like a butterfly, doesn't it? So you can use all kinds, let them all dry nice and so they're not hanging drippy. Now your paper towels will be drippy when you come in. That's why you need to set them on another paper towel, or on a newspaper worked really well because it doesn't get quite as soaked. So see what you can come up with after you make these amazing experiments. Sometimes we don't have to be sad when it's raining. We just have to figure out a way to make it fun, right? Now there was one other thing. I did put one thing out for an experiment and it stopped raining. So if that happens, I figured out a great idea. If you're outside and it stopped raining, but it has already been raining, so the ground is wet, you set it down on the wet ground still. If you have a tree in your yard or just some leaves hanging around, you can either put your paper under the tree and shake the branch a little bit and it will make the water come off the tree so it rains down onto it. Or you can use anything, a branch, a stick, a leaf, dip it in the puddles and then shake it over top so it's dripping down so it seems like it's raining. The paper doesn't know, but it'll still get the water on top to make it swirly. You also have to watch your paper because it doesn't take very long. It just needs to get wet on the top. And when you pick it up, it will start to drip down a little bit. If you leave it out too long, it will all wash away. I also found that out in my experiments. I put one outside and it wasn't raining. So I went inside and started taking care of some things. And I went back outside and it had rained and it all washed off. The paper was white again. It was pretty crazy. So see, things happen, experiment, see how it works, and show me what you come up with. I did do one other one that I don't think really came out well, except for that it made it a little brighter. I was trying to see if these would all blend together, but they didn't, right? So, but those are some different patterns. That's why if you do the whole page in color, that's pretty solid, it'll turn out better. So I feel like if I did one of these patterns on the whole page, it would have looked cooler. But those are some design ideas for you to fill up your paper. All right, so use this rainy day. It is warm outside. Who knows what else you'll discover as you're making your sky color, beautiful rainbow works of art, because we are all artists. All right? Okay, my fine artists, are you ready to spread some joy today? I sure am. Come on, Joy. Let's see how we're going to spread some joy. It's Friday, so you know we can take this all through the weekend. What is it going to be today? Set the table for dinner. Whoa, we haven't had that one yet. What a great way to be a helper. It doesn't even have to be fancy, even if you use paper plates. If you say, I'm going to help, I'm going to set the table, and you know what's really great? I know sometimes we have dinner in front of the TV. I do too. But sometimes it's really great to all sit around the table and have dinner together, and you can tell each other about your day. Why don't you try that? At least one of the days this weekend, tell your family you're going to set the table so you can all sit down together and share a meal and tell some good stories at the table. What do you think about that? And if there's days that you're not really sitting at a table together, maybe you can help clean up the dinner. Maybe you can help cook the dinner, right? See how you can be such a good helper to spread some joy. All right, boys and girls, I hope you have a fantastic weekend. The rain's gonna stop sometime. In the meantime, use that rain, splash in the puddles, make some wonderful creative rainbow art. And I will see you back here on Monday, where it's going to be an amazing week, because next week is supposed to be our last week of school. And guess what happens during our last week of school? Field day and fun, right? So next week's library times are all going to be based on field day activities. So we're going to have some really great outdoor adventures. Be ready. Come next week after you have your amazing weekend. Keep spreading the joy, everyone. I'll see you Monday.